Good morning, girls, and happy new year. So it looks as if it is midnight right now, but it is actually the morning, and I am filming my first video of 2025. It's actually 2 days prior to 2025 when I'm currently recording this video, but when you are seeing this video, it is the new year. So I hope you all had a beautiful new year, and I am honestly so excited for the year ahead. I have been thinking over the last month and a half, all throughout December, how I was going to open up the new year. To me, this video feels like it has importance. And I mean, I feel that way with all of my videos. To me, it's so important to set the tone for the year ahead. And I know all of us, many of us feel that when we're thinking about what's to come in the new year, what our goals are, what we're going to accomplish. And I am with you on that, but I did a video very similar to the one that I'm filming today. And it's all about getting back to basics because I shifted my lifestyle dramatically in 2024. I took on business partners for my membership site, and that has afforded me insane outcomes and possibilities. We have switched platforms. We have developed an app that is unlike any other health and wellness app that is out there on the market. I was actually just recording some meditations this morning that are part of the new app. And so as I've been reflective on 2024, in addition from a business perspective, from a health perspective, many of you have noticed that my body composition has most definitely changed over the last year. So October of 2023, I really started prioritizing my protein. At that time, I was recently 39 years old, and I realized that my body was requiring different sustenance. And I always say this, even as somebody who's considered a subject matter expert, as a functional nutritionist who specializes in women's hormone health, it's okay to change. It's okay to recognize that fiber and beautiful fibrous carbohydrate-rich diet worked really well for me at 35 as I was nursing around the clock and a mother to young children. That style and that approach to eating really benefited me. But as I was getting closer to 40, I noticed that my body was craving protein. So October of 2023, I kind of shifted my approach to protein. And then all of last year, everything changed when it came to my protein intake and how I was consuming foods. So I want to talk about what I'm doing this year to bring in these basic fundamental elements that are going to help my health and wellness journey to hopefully show similar results to last year, because 2024 has by far been one of the most expansive years that I have had in a very long time. And I'm so grateful for that. And so I want to have a similar mindset going into 2025. But the beautiful thing is we are going to leave the complexity at the door. We are not going to overcomplicate 2025. If anything, we are going to nourish our nervous system and really bring things back to basics. So I made made an entire list on my phone. I'm trying not to bring my phone close to the camera because then I get feedback, but I made an entire list on my phone of how I'm bringing things back to basics. Because if you are a subscriber of my channel, then you hear me repeat many of the same things over and over and over again, because I truly feel that complexity is the enemy of execution, and that when we overcomplicate our health and wellness routine, our fitness routine, our self-care routine, when we overcomplicate these things, it makes it really difficult for us to even begin and to even start. So for me, I like to keep things really simple, and that's what I did in 2024. 2024, I focused on my movement. And guess what? We are bringing that all the way into 2025. Every single day, I want to hit at least 12,000 steps per day. I hit no less than 14,000 steps 361 days out of the year. And on those 4 days that I didn't, I hit at least 9,000 steps. 2 of those days I wasn't feeling good. 2 of the other days the kids were sick, and most of the time when the kids are homesick, I actually get in a ton of steps, but there was like a travel day in there. There was a day where I was literally attached to one of the kids because they weren't feeling well. But 361 days out of the year, I absolutely exceeded my goal. And so in 2025, I'm going to continue with the same sense and movement. In addition to that, I want to lift heavy weights. Again, I mentioned this last year. I want to lift heavy weights 3 days per week. Now, that does not mean it's going to be an hour-long workout 3 days per week. If I focus 25 to 35 minutes of highly concentrated effort on lifting extremely heavy weights to the point of exhaustion where I cannot push any further, that's when I'm seeing tremendous results within my body. So movement coming through in 2025 is going to continue to be a huge focus for me. As I mentioned earlier, when we were in the kitchen, nutrition, of course, as a functional nutritionist, nutrition is so important to me, and continuing to hit my protein goals on a daily basis is a non-negotiable. So last year I had set a goal to hit at least 115 to 120 grams of protein. This year, my goal is right around 100 to 105 grams of protein on a daily basis. And so since I have shifted the bulk of my protein to be first thing in the morning, by the time I reach lunch, I have pretty much hit 55 to 65 grams of protein before getting into lunch. Whether that's with my protein coffee that you're seeing here on the screen that packs 35 grams of bioavailable protein. I know I get this comment all of the time about collagen not being a full, complete source of protein. And yes, that is true, similarly to gelatin, but we are using cow's milk, so that dairy has that missing amino acid tryptophan, which does make the collagen and the gelatin a complete protein. So by the time I'm done with my coffee, I have 35 grams of protein. Then if I have a Costco grass-fed beef burger, or if I eat a yogurt bowl with a few hard-boiled eggs or scrambled eggs, I am easily at 50 grams of protein, if not upwards to 65 grams on some days before I even reach lunch. This has changed my life. Quite honestly, it has changed my life. And so while I bulk that in the morning, I'm still bringing in my beautiful nutrient-dense salads. I absolutely still love my insurance policy, my smoothies. I tend to have them as my afternoon snack, like a quick pick-me-up before the kids get home from school. And especially in the summertime, I'm making a smoothie every single day in the afternoon as a snack. And so I have just really bulked this earlier in the morning, and I'm going to continue to do that for 2025. And why is that? Because when you find something that works, there is absolutely no need to reinvent the wheel. There's no need to make it cutesy for the internet and to reinvent yourself and do something completely different. When something is working, it's serving you, and you feel amazing and you're seeing results, let's double down on that and continue to use that forward momentum and keep the ball rolling. Moving out of health and wellness, kind of, but not really. Another thing that I'm focusing on to get back to basics for 2025 is simplifying my wardrobe. Now, many of you watching, if you're a subscriber of my channel, you're probably like scratching your head a little bit thinking, Jessica, you have the most simplistic wardrobe, which I do. I am somebody who keeps a very neutral color palette for most of the year. At Christmas, I jazz things up with some red and some green, but even so, I like to keep a neutral color palette. I like to buy pieces that I know I can mix and match with things I currently have in my wardrobe. Kind of like my house, which we will get to next, but kind of like my home. The less I have, the easier and the more motivated I am to get dressed in the morning. So if my closet is completely jam-packed with a bunch of different items that don't pair well with each other, that don't flatter my body, and that don't make me feel good, I am less likely to wear them. In addition to that, I'm going to probably buy more clothing that doesn't serve a purpose. And so now when I do my purchasing and my shopping, I think through, okay, what pieces am I missing? So right now I'm on the hunt for a perfect cotton button down. I have a silk one, I have a satin one. I'm looking for a perfect cotton button down that's not too bulky, that I could wear underneath a sweatshirt like this. I also could wear it on its own, tucked into jeans, maybe with a cardigan. I'm looking for a beautiful cotton button down that's not too thick or bulky. I ordered a ton on Black Friday as a side note, and they didn't do the job. Like, they were too thick, the material wasn't what I'm looking for. Instead of keeping those pieces, even though I got them on an amazing deal and discount, instead of keeping those pieces, which, believe you me, part of me was tempted to do, I returned them. I said, I'm not in a rush. I would rather wait and find the perfect piece that makes sense, that I'm going to wear over and over again, than rush and just purchase anything to fill that gap or to fill an urge or a need to get that high of like getting a good deal or doing the online shopping. And so as somebody who has more of a simplistic approach to my wardrobe, I love, of course, matching sets. And so I'm on the hunt constantly for matching sets that make me feel comfortable and cozy. I work from home, and so comfortable, cozy, pulled together so that when I'm on camera, I feel confident in what I'm wearing, so I can show up as my best self, and at the same time that have longevity. Now, with that being said, that does not mean that it has to be the most expensive piece. You girls know I have a ton of clothes from Uniqlo, from J. Crew, from Banana Republic. I have clothing from every single store that you could imagine. I try to find natural fibers. I'm very into wool. I'm very into cashmere. I like 100% cotton, like the button down that I'm looking for, but I'm not perfect, and not every single thing in my closet is 100% natural material. But quality clothing is important to me, but that doesn't mean it has to be the most expensive piece of clothing. So continuing to find pieces that work with my skin tone, that work with my color palette, that I can mix and match with clothing I already own, is a huge way that I'm getting back to basics for 2025. As I alluded to earlier, talking about my clothing, when I mentioned my home, I am a huge believer and somebody who clutter most definitely causes a physical reaction in me. It's draining to me. I notice that my temperament is not the same. I tend to have a shorter fuse. I feel anxious. I feel overwhelmed. My nervous system absolutely feels dysregulated when there is clutter around in my space. I can be at somebody else's home and they could have tons of pillows and blankets, and it feels so cozy to me and so comfortable to be in their space. However, in my own home, it causes a physiological response within my body. So I have to have a clean and clear space. The really good news is that as I have continued to refine my style, it has also been applicable for my home. As I go through and look at pieces, I will say this to you, that 99.999% of the time, I am never tempted to purchase all of the home decor items that are around, because I think, will that piece serve me in the home? Will that piece bring joy and peace and tranquility to my home? And if it does not, I am never tempted to buy something, because if anything, I feel as though it would be a source of anxiety. With that being said, I love Christmas decorations. I love fall decorations, Halloween decorations. I also love a clean, clear space. As you can see, I have already taken down our holiday decor. And so I do love a clear space, but I want it to be cozy as well. So we have a more minimal, modern approach to our home decor, but we definitely still have decorative pieces. It's not like a hospital in here. We definitely have things in the home that make it feel comfortable and cozy, but I'm just extremely mindful with the pieces that I bring into the house. In addition to that, another way that I reset and I bring it back to basics is I spend at least 45, I mean, that's an understatement. That's a gross understatement, but at least 45 minutes of intentional cleaning every single day. So after I take the kids to the bus or on a Saturday or Sunday, I will spend at least 30 minutes. That's not doing dishes. That's actual cleaning. 30 minutes to straightening up blankets, vacuuming the hardwood floors, wiping down the powder room where they brush their teeth, starting one load of laundry, folding one load of laundry. Of course, cooking and cleaning in the kitchen isn't always on, so I'm not focusing on that. But I do have a cleaning schedule where on Tuesdays, I do all of the mirrors and all of the countertops in our bathrooms and all of the mirrors in our bedrooms. Then on Wednesday, I dust the entire house. On Thursday, I change everybody's sheets. So I have a cleaning schedule and I dedicate this time. And the great news is those 45 minutes is probably more like an hour when I look at the day holistically. But that also contributes to my steps. And that's the reason I'm able to reach that step goal with so much ease, is because I am so focused on minimalizing my space, keeping my space clean so that it's never overwhelming. When it gets overwhelming, I don't even want to start. So I find that these tiny pockets of time of hyper-focused cleaning is so helpful for me in all facets of my life, but definitely in my nervous system, my psychological, and my physiological body as well, because it's a really great cofactor in helping me accomplish my step goal. I'm going to let the produce soak, and I want to talk with you in a second about my spin on these chores, right? Like the doing the dishes, the cooking, the washing and chopping up produce. We're going to talk about that in a second. But before I get into that, something else that I focus on every single year, but especially when it comes to the new year, is ensuring that my sleep and wake cycle are in a really great place. So if you're a subscriber of my channel, then you know I am a huge proponent of waking up before my children. For me as a business owner, as a busy mother, as somebody who has a lot on my to-do list, waking up before my children is so important. I'm able to have my lemon ginger tonic. I do my red light therapy mask. I do my Zip Halo microcurrent. I do my gratitude routine. I do so much in the morning. I also focus on a lot of creative work first thing in the morning, because that's when I find that my mind is extremely sharp and that creative ideas tend to flow to me faster first thing in the morning. So in order to have this beautiful morning routine, it is so important for me to be hyper-focused on my sleep. And I have talked with you girls about my sleep and why it is so important to me over the years, because I have measured it for the last 3 years on my Oura Ring. One of my best tips and one of my easiest hacks to get the most deep, restful sleep is taking 2 of the BioOptimizer's magnesium breakthroughs before bed. So I actually take 4 of these in a day. I take 1 in the morning alongside my vitamin D to really help synthesize that hormone, because magnesium is necessary for over 300 enzymatic properties in the body. It is so important for you to take this in the morning. It's also incredible for cognition. And because the Biooptimizer's Magnesium Breakthrough contains all 7 elemental forms of magnesium, this is a really beautiful way to bring in magnesium in the morning, and it will not make you feel tired. It will not make you feel sleepy. Likewise, I like to take one right around 2:45 in the afternoon to help me kind of de-stress and switch brains. So that way I can go from work brain to mom mode brain, and I do it in a really beautiful, thoughtful way. Then, of course, I take 2 right before bed to get the most beautiful, deep, restful sleep that I've ever gotten in my entire life. I always say I changed nothing else in my entire routine 3 years ago other than adding in this magnesium, and I saw a 30% increase in my deep restful sleep on my Oura Ring by changing nothing else. Literally nothing else other than the magnesium breakthrough. So I have been working with Biooptimizers for years. This is a product that my entire family uses on a daily basis. All of my friends, all of my extended family, all of the girls in my nutrition practice and my Living Well membership use on a daily basis. This is one of those products that I talk about on every single nutrition consultation. So when I talk about getting back to basics in the new year, sleep is at the top of that list. Because we can hydrate, we can eat well, we can move our body, but if we are not getting adequate sleep, we're going to fall short. Our hormones are going to be dysregulated. Our cortisol is going to be dysregulated and elevated during the wrong times of the day. And that is absolutely not a way that we want to start the new year. So I will have my link for you as well as my discount code in the description box down below, as well as the first pinned comment where you can go ahead and claim your savings. And I promise you that once you try this magnesium, even my husband, who isn't the best at taking supplements, never misses a day of the Biooptimizer's Magnesium Breakthrough. When we were traveling for Christmas and we were gone for 5.5 days, he was counting out the pills to make sure that there were enough for both of us because he cannot be without this product. And that's somebody who have a really hard time to have him be consistent with anything, but he always takes 2 of these before bed, and it has dramatically shifted his sleep as well. So I will have my link for you as well as the discount code in the description box down below where you can go ahead and give the Biooptimizer's Magnesium Breakthrough a try. So while it's easy to feel like you get stuck in the mundane of doing the dishes, cooking the food, washing the produce, something that I was hyper vigilant about focusing on in 2024 was bringing in gratitude to all of these experiences. And I am continuing to double down on that. So whether it's making a beautiful spritzer when you cook dinner, I have so many spritzer recipes on my channel. And if you're a member of Living Well, for the low cost of 40 cents a day, you can join and get access to thousands of my recipes and the world's most incredible community, 5 courses, monthly challenges, you name it, for 40 cents a day. It's also HSA and FSA approved. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that, but I'm pretty sure I have. But on Living Well, we have dozens and dozens and dozens of spritzer recipes. So maybe you make a spritzer while you're preparing dinner or while you're washing and prepping produce, or you make those delicious ice cubes. And we made these ice cubes a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I think, in one of my videos. I'll have the B-roll here on the screen for you. But you just make some delicious ice cubes and you sip on your water in a really yummy, flavorful way that brings in a moment of peace, clarity. It makes it special and elevated, and that will help you feel grateful. I'm telling you, being a grateful person will truly change your life. It will make you feel grateful to get in those 12,000 steps per day. It will make you feel grateful to eat your protein first thing in the morning because you're going to feel more energized and you're going to feel grateful to have that extra energy. It will make it easier for you to take your magnesium and get to bed earlier because you're grateful to the person you were the night before when you wake up in the morning and you have your stillness and your peace and your clarity and your quiet time in the morning. Having an outlook of gratitude has to be one of the most important things that I'm going to focus on as a basic fundamental in 2025. When I don't want to spend those 30 minutes cleaning the house or folding the laundry or starting the laundry or even just doing the vacuuming and dusting. When I feel grateful, one, that I have a home to do these things, that two, I can throw on one of my favorite podcasts or a book I will throw up here on the screen, my current book that I'm listening to on Audible. When I'm listening to a podcast or a book, it makes it enjoyable. And I think about that. I put myself in a position where I feel grateful for everything that I do. Now, that's not to say that it's always perfect and that I'm always grateful, because that is absolutely not the case. Sometimes when I feel underwater and overwhelmed with the amount of things on my plate, it's hard to reach in there and grab out that gratitude. But I find that when I hydrate, when I'm well rested, when I have that protein and I'm not living off of sugar and carbs, and that when I'm moving my body and that when I'm dressed in an outfit that makes me feel good, I'm in a space that's clean and clear, it makes it a heck of a lot easier to feel extremely grateful. And so that's why when we surround ourselves with these basic fundamentals, it makes life easier. It makes it easier for us to excel and exceed in whatever those big goals are. So maybe for you, it's gaining some muscle. Maybe for somebody else, it's getting their hormones in check. Potentially for somebody else, it's releasing a little bit of weight. Whatever that big goal is for you, having this basic foundation of these habits that serve you in every facet of your life will pay immense dividends. And honestly, I hope that if you learn anything from my channel, that I am obsessed with the basics. I am obsessed with the foundational elements, the water, the magnesium for my sleep, the movement, the protein, and doing it over and over again, because complexity is the enemy of execution. It will rob you of being able to reach your goals when we overcomplicate everything. So I hope that my channel and all of the content that I put out serves as a really beautiful sounding board for common sense. I say that when we can bring common sense to the conversation, that we are able to accomplish so much. So I am honestly so excited for 2025. I'm always so grateful for your support. I'm honored that you're here. I'm honored that you spent any of your time with me, whether today for the first time or over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I'm so grateful. I cannot wait to see what we do together in 2025. And if you like today's video, you can let me know by giving it a big thumbs up. And now the subscribe button is right over here on the screen. Give that a click. That way you don't miss a single video, and I hope to see you back here next Thursday.